Hey guys, excuse me, Dale Walker, Holeshot Performance, back. So let's, this is going to be part 2, basically installing the Scorpion slip-on, which is a piece of cake. I was going to install the lowering links, but the header, the bolts, just like a Bandit 1250, are in the opposite way, and the header's in the way, and I'm not about to pull the stock header off just to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the front end, get it close to the forks, maybe 1/8 inch away from the, the handlebars, and get that done. Then I already came up with my own strap, just one strap that I go around the lower triple with a short soft tie, and I got that figured out. And so I'm going to probably go about 1.25 inches, between 1 inch and 1/4 inch and 1 inch and 1/4 up out of the top triple tree, and then I'll probably be able to pull the forks down about 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch. I did that before, so we'll get the front drop pretty good. But the links, no way, I'm not doing that now, because I don't want to pull the header off. When I get back from next weekend, when I run this thing, you know, when I have time, I'm going to put the stock muffler back on it and do my own dyno pulls in my own dyno room. Why? Because I want to, and I have a dyno. So I'll do that, then I'll stick the slip-on there and stock for stock. We'll do it at the same time, so it's pretty accurate. And if you've watched other videos, even like Chris Moore and Brock's, oh God, these things, because they're supercharged without an intercooler, if you get a day that's 10% more humidity, I mean, it can be 10, 12 horsepower without touching anything difference. So just have to deal with what we have to deal with. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pick up the camera and I'm going to show you, I already showed you the slip-on, but I'll show you I got the muffler pulled off. I have a little clip of that right now. And then I'll fire the bike up right now. So let me grab the camera and I'll start the bike with no muffler and just let it run. I don't want to rev it because you got to oil up the supercharger and put some heat in it. It's a good idea. So let me grab the camera. All right, I ran it just a little bit. Let's start it up. And you'll notice when you're just kind of cracking the throttle, I ran it just a little. I don't want to riv it real high, but I can riv it up to like 3,500, 4 grand. But without a muffler on there. But you'll see the black smoke coming out, and that's normal. It's in a kind of an enrichment circuit when they're cold till they get the temp up. So let's start it up and I'll let you hear what it sounds like with nothing, which I think sounds great. You know what I should do one day? I better not let the cat out of the bag. I should make a race meg slip-on. Wouldn't that be bitchin'? Come up, then have a short meg about 12 inches long. Let me know what you think about that. That'd be neat. Scream. Off-road use only. Yeah, and as you can see, why I'm not installing the lowering links is you see the bolts on the stock dog bones. Well, they got to come out this way, right? It's going to hit right on the header, and so is the front one will come out. See the front one in there? If I take this guard off, or this little belly pan off, the front one will slide out.
All right, but the rear, no frickin' way. I don't know, maybe I could take the link. No, I'd have to take the shock off and everything. I don't know. I'll think about it, but I don't think that's going to happen this time. I'm going to run out of time. So what I'll do is I'll probably just soften the shock up all the way. I might mark it and take, it's already up there though. Any threads left? No. But I can at least, I'll see where the damping is at. If it's got compression, I'll just back it all the way off. So it ain't going to wheelie anyway. Thing doesn't. Out on the street, I can, because you can't leave hard. Like I said, it doesn't have a, it's got 35% throttle up to $4,000. So it either bogs or then comes on and, then it'll wheelie. So I hit a couple of them where I got through it, but it's kind of luck. It doesn't matter how good your skills are, because I can still ride okay. Probably not like when I was 25, but it's close. And you just don't have the control with that little twist grip right there with the fly-by-wire till it's fixed. Okay, let's get to work. All right, I get the Scorpion slip-on this digital scale, and that's what it weighs. There it all is with the hardware and the red dot muffler. Cool. It looks like a 2-inch perf core. Thought it was going to be a little bigger. Mid-pipe is certainly large. But 2-inch still flows pretty good. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, I just removed the original bazooka with the Scorpion, which part that I like is you get rid of the original gasket, donut gasket that slides on here, graphite gasket. So and this is the easiest muffler to take off. There's just 2 bolts. The one mounting bolt to the mounting spot there. This clamp's kind of made on here, which is nice. You don't have to crawl underneath. Threads are right in the clamp. Easy peasy. Slide it off. Leave this loose. Pull your gasket off the exit tube. Slide it in here. Lightly snug it. It stays in good shape if you ever have to put it back stock. Alright, let's take this puppy. We know that this one weighs 4.8 pounds total. I just did it. So let's take the bazooka over. I don't know what it weighs. What are you going to guess? 13 pounds? I have no clue. Something like that. I bet you any amount of money. Okay, I got it zeroed out. Luckily it does stand on the end. Kind of center it on my digital scale. Don't let it fall off. Whoa, baby. Wow. Almost 17 pounds. 16.8 pounds. Wowzy zowzy. What a tank. What a tank. So 16 point, yeah, see it's hovering. 16.8, you do the math, minus 4.8 or 4.6, I think. I don't know. You watch the video. So, pretty awesome, huh? All right, let's get on with the program. Okay, guys, I went ahead and set the front end up as far as the fork, sliding the forks up in the triple trees. So, it's not an easy job. Make sure you have a helper with you. I went, it's about 29.8 millimeters, so about 1.25 inches. But I still have a gap, 1/8-inch gap or so to the handlebars. It's just hard to see in there, but you're going to do one side. You have to lay underneath, and you can only use an Allen wrench. I put a towel in the fender, had it up on my stand, okay, and I used my floor jack, and I got that nice rubber pad right there, so no block of wood, and it sets in the middle of that. Excuse me. And I went underneath the pan first. The sump comes down, and that was okay for the first fork. So kept this one tight on top, had to lay underneath. That's why you want a helper. I had it on the stand. Turn it all the way one way, get an Allen wrench up in there. It's real tight in there. But you can do it. You cannot torque the bottom ones. Unless you have a really small 1/4 inch drive or something. I don't think you could do it. So anyway, I got this one set where I wanted it. And the best way I found is come to the back right here and measure from this lip to right at the bottom of the cap, okay? And that's where I went for how I did it with the calipers. You can come up from the bottom, but the best is kind of turn it all the way one way. You can kind of see this in there. And if you do it right with the right light, you can see right where the cap mates on the top of the fork tube. And mine are just shy of 30 millimeters, and I matched the other one perfect. So on this side, I got that one all snugged down, and I tightened the crap out of the bottom ones by hand. Then I tightened the top bolt to 22 foot-pounds. Okay, that's plenty tight. So that's like that. Then when it came to the other one, I just couldn't lift the bike enough under the pan. I was starting to lift it off the stand. So I went with the rubber, and I went right under the header. This is super strong right here. I mean, you'd have to, no way that would crush that header, just taking the pressure off the forks. So I went right underneath the header pipes right here. That's strong, where they all collect. And that way the fulcrum point, you know, it's in the front. It's not going to make it jump off the stand. It started lifting the whole bike when it was under the pan. It's too centered. So that way I could control it and take that one loose and slowly move it around. And that side's harder to, hang on. That side's harder to deal with because these wires and everything, but they do pull forward. They do clear it. It's not going to wreck anything. And yeah, so that's that. This side, I use the top one to control it, loosen the bottom. Then you can break this one loose and use a T-handle and still have a little load on it. You can feel it and you can move it where it won't slide up and down without you helping it. Then of course you want to try to get your adjustments still here where you can get to them and have it straight so it looks nice. I messed up one time. It was offload. I said, God dang it. I started over. But anyway, then I have a strap set up. I'm not doing that right now, but it goes on, I believe, the left side, and I can pull it down another inch if I want. So, and of course, just my luck. Look where the frickin' dent is, right there. Isn't that wonderful? So hopefully they take care of me. It's not gonna. I'm gonna run it, but you know. I certainly want to replace that. I don't want that thing on my bike, right? So anyway, this is it for now. Tomorrow, on Sunday, I'm going to put it on my little wheel chock thing set up I do right here and use my cycle cinch kind of like, you know, on the handlebars. Lightly pull it down, get the jack in the back. I did check out Brock's instructions and the other guys, and yeah, you can take, to get the bolt out of the link, you can take that upper bolt out of the linkage like I was talking about, and you take that out, you take the weight off the bike, you know, you're going to have to jack it up and down to get it free, and then there's a sleeve right there you pull out, and that thing will drop down enough to get that bolt out. So, yeah, so I'll probably break them loose in place, and then I'll drop that out of there, and then tomorrow's, I'll change those links. So for now, that's it. All right? I will be back. Have a good night. All right, it's Sunday. I'm going to be back at it here. Mr. Gray, you think you could keep up with that? Old air-cooled thing? I don't think so. Anyway, so, yeah, unfortunately, my race bike's all apart, and I'm not about to take it down off of there. It's just too much stuff and moving it around. It's halfway together. So, yeah, this is what I have to do here, which is unfortunate because, of course, I got to lay on my frickin' back. What do you think, I'm 20? Instead up there, right? So, anyway, we're going to get started now with the links. I actually like it on the ground right now with the fork slit up about 1.25 inches. They have enough preload where they really don't sag hardly at all. So I may not strap it this go around. I may add a little more preload to take out any sag at all, and that way it won't snatch up, you know, when I take off. And maybe just lower the back about an inch. We'll see, but it's not a hard job, but it's not an easy job either. So here we go. I'll get back to you as I'm moving along. Okay guys, so I got my floor jack right under the oil pan. There's the little triangulated piece right there. That's where you got to lift the bike. You're not lifting it miles, but I've got a nice rubber thing on the jack. So first step, 14 millimeter 6-point socket, and I use my little ratchet wrench on the other side. But to tell you the truth, if you don't put a load on it yet with the jack, my bolts did not turn even though they're locking nuts. So you want to go ahead and leave a load on it and remove the 2 nuts off the link and the top linkage arm there. Okay, see right there. All right, and the next step will be jack it up just enough to remove the links, and then you've got to, you've got to take the pressure off so that top linkage arm will slide out once we get that far. So get the links off, we'll do the next step. Okay, so real quick, before you put a load on the jack, take anything loose, let's get a measurement of a reference point, right? So when you're adjusting the links, you at least know that you lowered it an inch or whatever like that, because that's what you should do. So I already took my decals off this. I put some painter's tape on here. My crew chief is hard at work here. His name is Super Cooper. He's very annoying, but I love him. 9 months old. All right, so I picked a little spot right here. This little point should work just perfect. It's pretty much straight up and down, and the jack's not under the pan yet. I give it one little pump, and it's just a reference point, and Cooper is being very annoying. And so we just go right here and just measure that and eyeball it, and it's right on 15 inches. See it right there, Kurt?
No.
It's right on 15 inches. And that's just approximate, but that's, at least you know. So, yeah, we're going to start with maybe 1 inch lower. So that would be bringing that up, you know, to 14. So, all right, on to the next step. Okay, now you want to put a load on the motor, lift it up just enough where you can start pushing the bolt out for the linkage arm there. You take the bolt all the way out, and I believe you remove the bushing, and then it will allow you to move the bike enough to get this lower linkage dog bone bolt past the header on the other side to slide it out. Okay, well, let's give that a shot. Okay guys, with the right amount of pressure on the jack to get free play in this mounting bolt, the pivot arm, linkage pivot arm bolt will slide right out. On my bike, I don't see any reason to take this spacer out at all. I don't think it's going to do anything. So once you get that out of there, take the little belly pan right side off, just the right one. There's 3 little screws. By the way, they're all falling out, just like all the screws on the tank. So you get one of these bikes, go over all the little fasteners. They come loose, or they're not tightened right from the factory. Anyway, so now that I've got this out and I got the belly pan off, right, I can go ahead and remove the top dog bone bolt. I'm trying to do this by myself. It's going to wind up, right? And then that thing's going to flop down, and there you go. You can get the other bolt out, see? So you'll just have to do that in reverse order to get it in there. So I'll get the new arm on there, and that'll be the next step, and go from there. Okay, take note once they're all out, obviously they look identical, but the slightly longer bolt is for the pivot arm, not the dog bone links. Okay? Okay guys, with the pivot arm all the way down, you can slide the link. This is the Soupy's Performance link. You can slide it up in there. Then they have a thick fender washer they call a spacer that goes under the link first to step it out a little bit. Then you can go ahead and gently slide the bolt all the way through. Again, these are the two linkage arm, dog bone bolts are slightly shorter than the pivot one, so don't get it mixed up. Okay, so you got that on there. They said these were pre-adjusted at the stock length. They weren't. Mine was off just a smidgen, so I loosened one and just eyeballed them and turned them and got them where the bolts slide through. And mainly by eye, I could see the holes lined up much better and just lightly snugged it. The end with the mark is a right-hand thread, right? And so they're just lightly snugged. And so now what you can do is we'll go ahead and you can swing this back. You can swing the pivot arm up, and you can get the bolt in. So let me get that next step, and then I'll tell you how it went. Okay, guys. Yeah, what you want to do is don't attempt to put the the linkage arm, pivot arm, up in the frame yet. It's reverse order. So at least get this one dog bone on the right-hand side with the spacers in between against the the spacer first. So it stepped out a little bit, and then get up in here with some WD-40 and rag and clean this really good. And then I put a little bit on the face of this here because where I meant to clean is inside this here. Then rub a little bit of WD-40 or a little bit of teeny bit of grease right here. Because this pivot arm is in a bushing, it's kind of cocked. It's not perfectly straight. So it's kind of a bitch right there. So what you're going to do is have this one in, no bolts on the other side yet, just push it flush. Then have your helper, you're going to have a helper with the jack. Work the jack while you're pushing and wiggling this, trying to get it up in there. And obviously, once you get it the right height, the hole's going to line up. You know what I'm talking about. Then you can slide the pivot arm bolt through. Then you go to the other side and install the other dog bone. Alright guys, all the bolts are in. Installed the left-hand side. Now you want to use a little bit of blue Loctite in the nuts, even though the stock nuts are lock nuts. And you want to torque all three to 25 foot-pounds. Alright, so how the links were set up from Soupy's Performance. The bike now is 1.5 inches. It's 13.5 on that same measurement I took from the top of the chain guard to there. So I think what I'm going to do now, because it's sitting on my wheel chock up in the air, slightly loaded on the forks. I'm going to take the bike out of there completely and get it over here on the shop floor and measure it. And then I could put it on the rear race stand and check it for reference. And then I can get under there and adjust the links if I need to go. I don't want it raked up in the front. If anything, I still want it at least level or maybe a 1/2 inch taller in the back. I don't know. I'll see. But that's what we're going to do next. Alright, got the bike down on the ground. Pushed it up and down a few times. And it's now at 13.25, so it's 1.75 inches lower in the back, and it still looks level when I'm sitting on it, even slightly raked. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I think it's going to be good. The shock squats, but it's not super soft. Good starting point. I'll bring my strap with me, but the forks hardly have any sag to them. So I don't think it's really necessary to pull it down, but if I think I need to lower it a little more, I'll put the strap on it at the track. But now I got to change the side stand because it does lean over, but it's kind of sketchy. So I'm going to put Brock's adjustable stand on there. All right, and then I'll install the Scorpion slip-on, even though it has a little dent in the mid-pipe. Hopefully they replace that for me. I just got a hold of the distributor and the sales manager in the UK. Hopefully I hear from them tomorrow, but whatever. So let me get that stuff done right now, and then we'll do one more video, maybe sitting on it. You see the ride height, and we'll end this video. Okay, be back. All right, now that I know I'm going to leave this ride height like it is, before I get onto the other parts, we're going to break all those loose, put a little bit of blue Loctite on the threads where the nuts are going to bottom on the center part, and we're going to snug them, all 4 of them. All right, guys, after they're all snugged down, the dog bone lock nuts, go ahead and reinstall your right side little chin fairing down there. Make sure they're snug. I really suggest checking them all. These are loose too. So I got the little spring tool, put the stand up, pulling the spring straight back. This one isn't too stiff, it comes right off. Okay, on with the side stand install. Alright guys, before you try loosening the side stand bolt, because it threads right in, there's no nut, you got to remove that cotter pin. Plus you can tell there's some blue thread lock, so remove that cotter pin, and Brock includes a new one. So out it comes. I just show you that in case you don't notice that, and brief on the thing, okay? Alright, that was fairly painless. We'll get it off the stand here in a minute and double check the ride height, and then we'll adjust that to my liking of it leaning over. And I've got belly pan on, and I like that Scorpion. I don't know what's it called, red dot, red something. Excuse me. Slip on. Kind of neat. I like that. It goes with the bike, huh? Took the baffle out. He's going to breathe. Okay, I'm going to hand the camera to my buddy and do a startup. All right, let's do the first startup. All right, let's get it on the ground, adjust the stand, check the ride height again. Break into the video just for a minute here, give you a little update. I got a hold of Scorpion directly in the UK, the sales manager named Martin, and he is going to dispatch a brand new link pipe to me, which I thought was very nice because I bought it from a different distributor, one of their distributors in the UK. They didn't even ship it to me, but he's taking care of me on that. So that shows you they are top notch. And this thing is top quality too. So I'm really impressed with the muffler. So I want to thank him for that. And yeah, I just want to let you know. Also, Scorpion, I believe they have a lifetime warranty on their parts, which is awesome. Yeah, maybe I'll ask them if I can sell some of their stuff. Okay, back to the video. Okay guys, I got the side stand all installed and adjusted, and I think it's just about perfect. So I ended up with the about 30 millimeters, 1.25 inches on that. I went 3.5 full turns on the spring preload on the right fork, just to make it top out a little more. I'm not going to strap it. I'm bringing a strap with me, but the back end is 1.75 inches lower. And yeah, I can sit on it now, kind of bump the forks and pull up on it. It's only moving up about 1/4 inch. So, like I say, the slip-on's going to help now. It probably will have a little torque. Maybe it'll help it get through the bog that it does. You know, I don't know what it's going to do, but it's a pain in the butt with the stock fly-by-wire. So let me sit on it. I'll show you kind of the stance now. Okay, it's still raked down in the front, which I like. So here we go. This is kind of my natural position right here. I'll be launching, stand at the tack, about 3,300 or so. And so there's the ride height you see right there. Right? Of course I can't really, maybe I can. So yeah, see my seat now? So I'm in here, I bring my feet up, and then I'm right up my bump right there, and man, I'm behind the bubble. Without that screen, you just get thrashed, so this is nice. Look at that, wind's gonna come right over, at least I can tuck into something. See, the AT may not be good, but the thing's gonna mile an hour, so. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. You take it easy. I'll take some videos on the bike or of the bike next weekend. I don't expect any miracles, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? It's gonna be fun. Anyway, ride safe. Thanks a lot, appreciate y'all. Subscribe, hit the bell, comment below, okay? All right, over and out.